If Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, it's going to be a worse fight than fucking Charlo running around Canelo by murder against Crawford. That shit wouldn't happen. They have weight classes for a reason.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are preparing for a blockbuster clash likely to unfold around the Cinco de Mayo weekend. For Crawford, however, the challenge runs deeper than just squaring off against his elite Mexican rival. He must also battle the relentless noise from skeptics. Though Crawford has faced doubt before, this time the criticism feels more intense than ever. Numerous figures within the boxing community are advising him against risking his perfect record, warning that taking on this bout could very well lead to his first defeat in the ring.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo?
Roy Jones Jr., one of the most dominant fighters in boxing history, remains actively engaged in the careers of today's top talents. Among the standouts are Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, widely considered two of the premier pound-for-pound fighters in the world. The mere idea of a potential face-off between these two has ignited passion and imagination among fans across the global boxing landscape.
There are so many other fights to make that's realistic. It makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight.
Terence Crawford, a world champion across 4 divisions, has openly expressed his willingness to challenge Canelo Alvarez, the current super middleweight title holder. However, the significant gap in weight between them stands out as a major hurdle that Crawford must overcome to make this bout a reality.
Who's trying to take over and start beating the guys around him? He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
In a conversation with Mill City Boxing, Roy Jones Jr. offered insight into the potential showdown between Crawford and Canelo. While praising Crawford's extraordinary ability, the former champion gave the edge to Canelo due to his physical attributes. "I like Terence, but I'm leaning toward Canelo early on, mainly because of his size," said Jones. Still, if Terence settles into the fight, he'll be dangerous. If he can manage the size differential, he has the tools to beat Canelo. Jones also pointed out that Canelo's power could be the decisive variable in determining the result of the contest.
Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble.
That's really the key, Jones elaborated. "We won't truly know until we see Terence take a solid punch because he hasn't been hit by someone with that kind of power before. That's going to be the make or break moment. If Canelo can hurt Bud and disrupt his game plan, then he's got a real shot. But if Bud can't be hurt, then Canelo won't be able to stop his rhythm, and that spells trouble." This breakdown illustrates the critical need for Crawford to nullify Canelo's known punching strength. Should Crawford rely on his high-level technique and avoid Canelo's thunderous shots, he might just pull off an unforgettable upset. While this matchup remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo currently appears focused on other opposition.
If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, "Okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done."
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win.
William Skull, the current interim champion under the International Boxing Federation, has recently been floated as a potential next opponent for Canelo. But Roy Jones Jr., now a Hall of Fame boxer turned analyst, trainer, and promoter, previously considered different paths. He had earlier suggested that both Crawford and David Benavidez might have what it takes to defeat Canelo, though he later revisited that view. Regarding Benavidez, Jones admitted the bout presents complexities. "It's a difficult fight to pick because Benavidez throws an enormous number of punches," Jones remarked to BoxingScene.com. "And in boxing, sometimes it only takes one punch to flip the script."
Big for Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see.
The main issue is whether Canelo was prepared to take that risk, Jones observed. "I don't believe he is, not right now, because he likely doesn't see the point. If he fails to hurt Benavidez within the first few rounds, say 3 or 4, then I don't think he wins." David Benavidez, a 2-time super middleweight champion at 168 pounds, has long been campaigning for a match against Canelo. At the same time, Terence Crawford, previously acknowledged as the sport's best welterweight, has expressed readiness to jump 2 full divisions for a shot at the Mexican icon. Nonetheless, Canelo questions whether beating Crawford would meaningfully enhance his legacy. Even so, there is a strong belief among fans and analysts that Crawford could very well pull off the upset.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now.
If there's anyone who can do it, it's Crawford. You can't tell him no, said Jones. I was the same way. If someone claimed they were better than me and I could reach their weight class, I was going after them. I gave up 33 pounds when I beat John Ruiz for the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care, I wanted to make history and prove I was the best pound for pound. Bud probably feels the same way. He wants to create something legendary to solidify his place in boxing history. Who wouldn't be intrigued by a matchup between the pound-for-pound king of the past and the pound-for-pound king of today? This is a mega fight. If Bud builds up the muscle and weight the right way, why wouldn't he be taken seriously? One thing's for sure, he's not stepping in the ring for a payday. Bud's going in there to win. That's who he is. If he can carry that weight without losing his edge, it's going to be a spectacular fight. He fights like Mayweather but also brings power. He hits and doesn't get hit. If he absorbs the power at that size, there's a strong chance he walks away victorious.
I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You
How do you think
understand me?
that fight will go, Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter.
Roy Jones Jr., a 4-weight world champion known for moving through weight divisions later in his career, advises Canelo Alvarez to stay rooted at super middleweight. It's absolutely the best move for Alvarez to remain at 168, Jones explained. I didn't understand why he moved up to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was nearing the end of his career. Bivol's a whole different beast, he's in his prime. Canelo caught Kovalev at the perfect time. But now, he needs to return and dominate his own weight class. Don't take on another challenge like that, lightning rarely strikes twice. Meanwhile, 2-division champion Andre Ward has also weighed in on the much-anticipated Canelo vs. Crawford matchup, adding further intrigue to the boxing world's ongoing debate.
I can bet the house on is Bud, because me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like soon as I see this dude.
Since his landmark victory over Errol Spence Jr., Terence "Bud" Crawford has had his sights locked on Canelo Alvarez. While Canelo initially brushed off the notion, he recently suggested he would be open to defending his super middleweight titles against the smaller Crawford if the money made sense. On the All the Smoke podcast, retired unbeaten champion Andre Ward, who closed his career with a perfect 32-0 record, shared thoughts on some of boxing's most compelling possible matchups. I'd love to see Canelo take on either Terence Crawford or David Benavidez, Ward remarked. He has 2 clear options: he can stay within his own division or step up to challenge the smaller but incredibly skilled Crawford.
We so much alike in our mentality. Like soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball.
As for who wins if Canelo and Crawford square off, Andre Ward is backing the fighter who once competed 3 divisions below. Right now, I'm not betting against Terence against anyone, Ward said. We're talking about the top technicians in boxing today, and Crawford is someone you can absolutely trust with everything on the line. His talent is elite, but it's his mindset and heart that really set him apart. He and I are cut from the same cloth. A lot of guys talk a big game, but until you're in a real test, you never know what you truly have. Crawford may not be an easy fight, but in an even matchup, that's when we learn what someone is really made of.
Wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn.
He's built different. He's got that dog in him. That's the kind of attitude that gets me fired up, said Shakur Stevenson, who refers to Crawford as his big brother. Stevenson firmly believes Crawford would beat Canelo, despite the considerable 14-pound weight disadvantage that separates the two. While Canelo has shown no interest in fighting Crawford, unlike Jermall Charlo, citing the size difference, Stevenson dismisses that excuse. He believes that in boxing, skills outshine size. The 2-weight world champ is confident that Crawford's southpaw stance, footwork, and fundamentals give him the edge to outclass Canelo and get the win.
Canelo. Like I said, I've been saying this. I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. So yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would be Canelo.
Discussing Crawford's future with IFL TV, Shakur Stevenson weighed in on where boxing currently stands. Right now, Terence Crawford is in control of the sport, Stevenson said. In terms of who he should face next, I'd love to see him go against Charlo. Even though Charlo is already set to fight Canelo, I genuinely think Crawford beats Canelo. His movement, southpaw style, and overall skill set make it hard for Canelo to trap him or land his powerful punches. I wish Charlo wasn't booked to fight Canelo, but that's how it is. I really believe Bud could beat him. For me, it's not about size, it's about skill.
Who knows? That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no?
I'm just saying, man, we can't say it's not gonna happen. We can't say that.
The matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford stands as one of the most thrilling potential bouts in the current boxing scene. And with Saudi Arabia playing an increasingly active role in hosting high-profile fights, this dream bout seems more realistic than ever. Trainer Robert Garcia spoke on the topic, explaining how Canelo might hold the upper hand but acknowledged Crawford's unique situation. According to Garcia, if Crawford doesn't land a fight with Canelo soon, retirement could be his next step.
No, because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never, maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined.
Crawford's a smart guy. He's accomplished everything he aimed to do, Garcia told Fight Hype. He's checked all the boxes and doesn't need to prove anything else. From my conversations with him, I get the sense that he wants one last massive fight with Canelo. And if that doesn't happen, he may walk away from the sport. Still, Garcia pointed out that Crawford has a variety of compelling options at junior middleweight. The most appealing among them is WBC and WBO champion Sebastian Fundora. Other legitimate possibilities include IBF champion Bakram Murtazalev, as well as Jermall Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Sergey Bohachuk, and Xander Zayas.
Of course, why would he call up Benavidez when he's calling out Canelo knowing that he's going to make double the money?
Because he wants to fight at 68, that's why.
So that's why, Eddie, you don't...
For veteran trainer Robert Garcia, there's no further mountain Terence Crawford needs to climb. With an undefeated record and a legacy already etched in boxing history, Garcia argues that Crawford has earned the right to step away without chasing fan validation. He's already accomplished it, Garcia said plainly. I don't see him fighting just to satisfy fans who say he needs to face this or that opponent. That's not who he is. Garcia emphasized that Crawford's decision to walk away wouldn't be about fear or unfinished business, it would be about intelligence. Financially secure and having made smart investments, Crawford has put himself in a position where he doesn't need another payday. He's going to look for that one big fight, enjoy life, and then move on. He's a very smart man. He doesn't need to fight again, unless it's for Canelo. That's the only fight that makes sense now. Otherwise, I think he might be done, Garcia concluded.
Why? You know why. He wants to make the biggest fucking payday.
Does he have a chance in the fight?
Everybody has a chance, but I think he'll put up some good rounds. I think he loses to Canelo, but he'll put up good rounds. Better than Charlo did.
If that dream matchup with Canelo Alvarez materializes, Garcia believes Crawford would hold his own at least for a while. Look, I think Crawford could hold his own for a few good rounds, he said. The first 6 to 8 rounds would be very competitive. Garcia pointed to Crawford's speed, power, and fight IQ as tools that could keep things close. He has the skills, he's strong, he's fast. He's got enough power to make Canelo respect him. But eventually, I think Canelo's size and strength would start to wear him down. Still, those first 6 rounds? They'd be fireworks. A hell of a fight.
Crawford, Canelo.
He'll put up some good rounds. He'll fight. He'll probably get stop and get knocked out. But he'll put up some good rounds. Yeah, but he'll put up.
While fans dream of a Crawford-Canelo showdown, the fight remains speculative. The hurdle is far more complex than just dollars and cents. Even if Crawford were offered the richest purse of Canelo's career, Canelo might still refuse. But former world champion Tim Bradley believes outside factors are irrelevant when it comes to Crawford's path. In my eyes, the only person who can stop Terence Crawford right now is Terence Crawford himself, Bradley said. He's that dominant. No outside force, not even Canelo's reputation, can derail what Crawford's built.
I don't think we've seen anything like Terence Crawford in all my years of boxing. I know that for a fact. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything.
I think the only person who can beat Crawford is himself, Bradley reiterated in an interview with Fight Hype. Canelo's a great champion, no doubt. But if we're talking skill for skill, it's Crawford all day. Still, Bradley didn't shy away from the risk. Would I be nervous if they fought? Hell yeah. Canelo can punch, man. It only takes one shot. But if Crawford uses his legs, his athleticism, and his defense, if he stays out of the way, I really believe he can beat Canelo. Bradley even invoked the memory of Floyd Mayweather's 2013 performance against a young Canelo as proof that superior boxing IQ can neutralize size and power.
Good speed, power, timing, can switch the way he switches, to have the toughness, the meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys.
But the questions persist. Crawford is about to turn 37 and has never fought above 147 pounds. Jumping straight into a super middleweight battle without first testing the waters at 160 or 168 is risky, and fans know it. Many question whether Crawford is rushing toward the Canelo fight, not for greatness, but for a final massive payday before retirement.
Guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168.
This is the problem, Bradley explained when reacting to Canelo's disinterest in fighting a welterweight like Crawford. Jermall Charlo came in at 154 and moved up to fight Canelo. And what happened? He just survived. He didn't try to win, he just made it through the night. Bradley made it clear, the difference lies in mentality. Crawford is a top pound-for-pound guy. He's built different. But we still don't know if he'll really be different from Charlo unless he tests himself first.
Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way.
If Crawford stepped in with David Benavidez or David Morrell, then we'd know he's serious about 168. Then we'd believe he's not just chasing a check, Bradley argued. But right now, it looks like he's skipping the hard part to go straight for Canelo. Even so, Bradley maintains faith in Crawford's competitive spirit. Charlo was never pound for pound. Crawford is. He's a competitor. He's been chasing Canelo, and I think he'll surprise a lot of people if they actually fight.
Secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So
is it like a skill set? Is it like a preparation thing, or?
Nope, I'm not.
Bradley didn't hold back on his concerns. Am I nervous if it happens? Hell yeah. Canelo hits hard. And Crawford's jumping up 3 weight classes. That's dangerous. Still, the blueprint exists. Floyd Mayweather did it in 2013, outboxed Canelo, made him miss, outthought him, Bradley recalled. Crawford could do the same. It's a gamble, but a winnable one.
Just gonna put it like this. If the fight was to happen, you will see. Yeah.
Because a lot of people think Terence can compete.
But as Bradley pointed out, there's a catch. Mayweather didn't move up to 168. He fought Canelo at 154 when Canelo was just 22. That's not the same as facing a full-grown, prime Canelo. Despite that, Bradley remains optimistic. I have more proof backing Crawford. I think he can outbox him, outthink him, make him miss, and make him pay. If he avoids those big shots, uses his legs in defense, he can beat Canelo.
He touches Canelo, because he's been hit by bigger guys, he's not gonna, I don't want to say show him respect, but he's gonna be able to get, okay, I could walk through this, I could take a little risk and set up my traps, cut the ring off, dig to the body, and wear Terence down over the rounds.
I'm just gonna tell you like this.
Canelo's slow and methodical, Bradley analyzed. He's got a solid jab and throws a lot of hooks. Crawford just needs to stay underneath those punches and be slippery. He can beat him that way. Bradley then circled back to Jermall Charlo. Charlo didn't even try. He was scared of getting knocked out. I get it, nobody wants to end up on a meme. But he said he wanted greatness, and he didn't chase it. Crawford? He's daring to be great. And I believe he can do it. As speculation continues, fans remain divided. But one thing is clear, Crawford's challenge is gaining attention, even if Canelo himself hasn't taken the bait yet. However, another boxing voice is stepping in with caution, Sean Porter.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to TKO Edge for more knockout content. From fight breakdowns to real-time reactions, we've got it all right here. Until next time, stay sharp, stay strong, and keep your guard up.